even at state level, not just at local government level.
Yeah.
But if you look at what, because I saw the statement that they issued, and I can say, okay, the House of Assembly, Shomolu and Bariga have Orekoya and Akpata for Bariga and Orekoya for Shomolu.
Yeah.
Both of them are Christian. The APC chairman in the Shomolu council area, Olubamedo, is a Christian. Right. The APC chair in Bariga, Majolagbe, is a Christian. The commissioner from Shomolu and Bariga, that's Sheung Oshiemi, is a Christian. The education secretary for Shomolu local government, Martins, is a Christian. The commissioner, Lagos State Civil Service Commission, is a Christian. So when you look at all of those positions,
the distribution,
the only person from that local government who is a Muslim is the current chairman of the local government. That's the Dula, the man we call Dula, whom we have to admit has done a tremendous job in that local government. You need to see some of the structures that he has put on ground. You won't even believe that these projects were initiated and completed by a local government. So they've done, it's done a very good job there. So what they are saying is that, look, there has to be fairness.
Okay. And
Mayor will bear me witness, that area is largely populated by the Jebus.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Shomolu Bariga, I know about that.
Yeah. So, and we all know that the Jebus have a considerably big population in that area who are Muslim.
Yeah.
So, if we do not address the matter of fairness, the sort of thing that happened in the 2023 presidential election in Lagos can happen. People thought it merely happened by accident. No. There were people who felt aggrieved.
Right.
And nobody made efforts to address their grievances. They eventually aligned with people who had made up their minds to vote against Asiwaju, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. After that election, Asiwaju took some steps. He did some rejigging in terms of the strategy, that
aimed at addressing the situation.
Yes, the strategy that was deployed for the governorship election.
Okay.
Some people felt aggrieved. They got people to reach out to them. I know someone, for example, that it was Obanikoro that went to talk to him.
Yeah, so?
And they came out, and the result was different. We saw people like the deputy governor of Lagos State, people like Tunji Bello, they got them more involved, at least in terms of reaching people. Even agents of the party were not paid on time for that first election. What I'm saying can be, people can fact check me. They didn't pay them on time. But for the second election, the governorship election, those issues were quickly addressed.
Yeah.
And then they even got their money in good time. So we saw changes. And Somolu was able to win with an audacious margin. So when people are aggrieved, it has to be addressed. There were many Muslims who were not happy, even in that last election, and they showed their anger. I'm not a politician, but I know some of the problems. And people talk to us, they expect us to at least help amplify those issues. Where people are unfairly treated, they expect us to help them to address some of those issues. Look at, even in terms of people appointed into the Lagos Executive Council, there was a lot of agitation, a lot of anger from the Muslim community. The matter was eventually doused. There was a lot of agitation, a lot of anger about the fact that some local governments were so unfairly treated. I even listed some of the, look at Shomolu and Bariga, for example. that one commissioner between them in the Lagos cabinet. Koshofe Agboiketu, Ikosi, Isheri, one commissioner. Yet, one local government in Lagos State, Etiosa, had 12. And they lost the election. They lost the presidential election. Etiosa, they didn't win it. Some local government that usually delivers for the APC in the state, how many commissioners did they get? So these issues are there. And then the other issue is, look, if they are saying, if all of these positions have been taken by Christian, at least keep that one
for a Muslim,
which is the chairman, that and that is currently being occupied by Muslims. They are saying, why don't you just keep that one for us?
For harmony's sake.
Yes. Because if they go into an election now, and it is not, there's no level playing field, and a Christian is brought to become chairman again, it now becomes 100% Christian. That is not what they want to see. And I also believe that that does not promote fairness. We have to be fair. We made up our minds that we'll be fair in the things that we talk about here.
Mayor, you know, according to the late Malcolm X, what is right, what is wrong is wrong.
Yes, you see, politics is about interest. And it is important that a political party must try to balance all the tendencies within that political party.
Okay.
That is why when you are picking candidates, or giving appointments, you try to make sure that you balance it from the senatorial district.
Right.
And when you balance it then politically, you should also be mindful of religion. We have to be sincere with ourselves. We cannot run away from the fact that religion is an issue in Nigerian politics.
Yes.
Remember that the Ashwaju Muslim ticket caused a lot of problems. It caused a lot of problems, and a lot of Christians in southern Kaduna.
Do you remember late MKO and
Kinjibe? Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Muslim
when it was peaked, because people were saying that we should have moved beyond where you are from or your religion and all that. But the reality on ground is that we have not moved beyond that. So because we have not moved beyond that, it is important for us to be mindful of such problems. In this case, it is important. You see, sometimes a political party, in the course of picking those who they believe are making waves within the party, or can win the election, or are capable of serving as commissioners and all that, they may inadvertently pick people and not put some things into consideration. But that cannot be right, because, like I said, politics is about interest. If within the Shomolu Bariga axis of the party, and you have about 12 positions in different fields, from commissioner to chairman to member of civil service commission and all that, and it's only one Muslim that's appointed and the rest are Christians, it has been done. There's nothing we can do about it, but it's not right. It is important for the party to consider things like that, to balance the interests of everybody involved
going forward,
and to show fairness.
Yes,
because
they
already
are going to
there.
have an election now.
There's going to be an election. People are going to be picked. But it's important for the party to look at that, to look at that position that already mistakes have been made.
Yes.
And inadvertently, most of the people within that axis are Christians. There's nothing we can do about that. They are party members and they are competent people, we agree. But it is important now that they should not make another mistake to add to the one that is on ground. Since election is coming, and that is what the party does. So the party should be mindful that it's important that they look at the interest of the Muslim community within the axis.
Otherwise, you know, people may forget, but BKO and Mayor, politics does not forget.
No, people will keep thinking that they've been unfairly treated. you see, the way it is, those positions are there. Chairmanship position is going to, I think they are going to have their primaries on Saturday or so.
Yes.
And they will have election. That is the only position held by a Muslim. And their own concern is that if we are not careful, even that singular position that they've held will still be taken from them. There's no way that you do that to a people and you don't expect their blood to boil.
A lot of belly ache.
You see yes, people will justifiably feel aggrieved once that happens. And the second leg of it is every local government has wards. What they want to see is for even chairmanship to be rotated amongst the wards.
Evenly, yeah.
Because in Lagos, whether we like it or not, these local government elections are usually done based on consensus.
Okay.
What you see on election day is just a walk in the park. Or how do I describe it?
Yes, it's consensus because the leader will have picked somebody.
Yes, they will have picked.
Yeah, the apex person will have said, okay, this is the person
we are going to use. So now, if that happens, they are saying, okay, let the wards, let chairmanship also rotate among the wards.
Yeah.
You can't have a situation in which, okay, this chairman came from this particular ward. And then you go on to pick someone from the same ward. Or a chairman, you had a chairman who used 2 terms, and then another chairman came from a different ward, and then after that one finished spending his term, you then go back to the one that came before that chairman. That means that in 3 elections, 1 ward has produced 2 chairmen.
Yeah.
Whereas there are still several other wards. You know, in dealing with people, and that is why parties have crisis in our country. Because people want to be treated with fairness. And if they do not get treated with fairness, they start grumbling. The next thing they have intractable problem. They've not been able to solve their problem, as we had with the PDP now.
Yeah.
And then they start going to court.
Their loyalty will be questioned.
Yes. So let's always try our best. To ensure fairness in everything we do. And once the party leaders do this, they will be able to earn total respect and loyalty of members. There has to be fairness.
So, as we always say, let the debate continue in your part of town, but ours is to give context and clarity to the issue.
Yes, we don't have a dog in the fight, but we have to be fair.
Okay, to our next story. You know, the ambitious Dangote petroleum refinery was sure going to upset the status quo in the oil and gas sector. Alhaji Aliko Dangote paid a visit to the presidential villa for a chat with Mr. President Bola Tinubu. In a discussion with newsmen afterwards, the Kano-born businessman told journalists that some major oil marketers and traders were bent on frustrating the president's attempts to restructure the country's economy. Alhaji Dangote was full of praise for the new leadership of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NPCL, even as he agreed that it's supportive in addressing his company's needs. Mayor.
Yes, I agree with Alhaji Dangote, but it's expected when there is a cabal.
Oh, did you see this coming?
Yeah, of course. When there is a cabal that have held down the oil and gas industry for so long, making huge amounts of money and doing all manners of scam, they know that Aliko Dangote refinery is a game changer.
That's it.
And it's going to stop the scam. The only problem that I have, you know, we've discussed it on this platform severally, that Mr. President must show decisiveness and leadership by doing something about NNPCL. And I'm so happy that he has done that. One thing you have to give this president is that it may take some time, but he's taking decisions that should have been taken long time ago. You understand? The people in NNPC have turned themselves to a cabal, and they know that, because my own argument is that if Dangote refinery is producing petroleum, I find it absolutely ridiculous for us to continue to import. Why should we import? So what you are supposed to do is to say that all the petrol that you want to produce, that you have capability of producing, give it to us. If it is not enough to meet the needs of the people, then you cannot import to augment it. Not that you are going to import and you'll be competing with Dangote refinery. It doesn't make sense. So I can understand what he's saying. It's the same cabal, because they will say that, no, we don't want to buy Dangote, we want to import. Government, and we cannot afford the kind of foreign exchange that will be involved and things that will be involved. So I know, I can understand what he's saying. I can understand his frustration. In fact, why Dangote refinery has been lucky is that Aliko has been in the system for so long. So he's used to cabals. So, in fact, he's one of them. So he knows how to fight them. If not, they will have frustrated Dangote refinery. Because there was a time Dangote refinery was selling to companies abroad, in Saudi Arabia, in Emirates, in America. You understand what I'm saying? They are not supposed to be doing that. It is after they have met the needs of the Nigerian people that they are supposed to be doing that.
That's it, yeah.
So, yes, I said it one time that, yes, Aliko could be a private businessman. Yes, Aliko could have been in businesses where he was acting like a monopoly. But whether we like it or not, Dangote refinery's interest is tied to our own in terms of providing the petroleum products that we need, in fact, saving us a lot of foreign exchange, and then any foreign exchange for Nigeria later. So it is important for everybody to support it. We should not look at it that is owned by Dangote. It is a national interest, so we should look at it. So there are some people, I think the president can still do more. Yeah. He has done a lot. He has brought in a professional to clean up the place. And the first thing the guy did was to sack all these MDs. Yeah. And we'll be hearing all kinds of stories since then.
Mayor, you know, one thing I give Mr. President is, since 1999, he's the first #1 citizen who takes risks.
That's what I'm saying. We have to give that to him. We have to give that to him. Yeah. He's not perfect. Things are hard. Yeah. But he has the courage to take decisions that others like to just overlook and push aside.
Biko, did you see this coming?
See what's coming?
You know, this, what Alhaji Dangote is telling us.
He's been at war with these people. What Alhaji Dangote wants is a ban on importation of petroleum products. Yeah. Nobody's going to ban importation of petroleum products because we are in a deregulated environment. So he went to court. The matter is still on. He wanted to stop the regulator from issuing new licenses. In a deregulated environment, those who think that they should import can go ahead and import. Saudi Arabia is the market leader. They even still import from Nigeria. Okay. That point is clear. What we cannot encourage is keeping our refineries comatose so that we can promote a regime of fuel importation.
That's it.
The refineries must be kept working.
Alive, yeah.
Must be kept alive, whatever happens. And I hope this current NNPC board, that even Dangote has praised profusely in terms of the fact that the president brought together the very best in our country.
In the industry,
They must do their best to keep those refineries working. Even the Kaduna refinery, which is, they are still working on it now, they must keep it running so that we will be able to become even a net exporter of refined petroleum products. That should be our goal.
Yeah.
It cannot be our goal if we leave Dangote alone to refining.
Yeah.
We must be the hub for sale of refined petroleum products. So I want to see Warri refinery working. I want to see Kaduna refinery working. I want to see Port Harcourt refinery working. I want to see more refineries come on stream.
Yeah.
I know that Bua's refinery which is located in your state, you know, they are ramping up work.
Yeah.
Soon it will be ready. That is what we want to see. We don't, when all of these refineries are working by themselves, those who have made up their minds that it has to be importation, they would naturally wind up business.
Okay.
What the people who have sympathy for those importers, those big marketers, are saying they invested hefty sums of money when our refineries were dead. When there was no Dangote refinery, they invested a lot of money and they were bringing in petroleum products. Of course, a lot of stealing took place during that time because we had the subsidy regime that was easily being manipulated. But the question now is, what do we do? Because I went to Warri and I saw the tank farms, big tank farms that Matrix, all of them, they have. That is where they receive.
We have company.
That is where they receive petroleum products, which they then sell to Nigeria. So those ones too want to survive, and the regulator is not prepared to simply not issue licenses to those guys. So how much longer
can we wait?
I do not know, but they have their own reason for not issuing, for continuing to issue licenses to those guys. But of course, to Dangote, it is wrong. And something must be done about it.
All right, Uzo, we kept you waiting, but sorry. Now, come online. How are you? Good evening. Are you there, Uzo?
Name? I want to commend. Good evening. I want to commend. Good evening. I want to commend the Otito and the mayor. There is this topic you people discussed 2 Sundays ago. Those two people on TV now, very intelligent. I really appreciate God in their life for the topic. In short, I enjoyed it. That was the best journalist anger. That was 2 Sundays ago.
Okay.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you, Uzo. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, it is said you pour oil on troubled waters. What do you pour on troubled oil?
Yeah, like Biko said, what we all of us want to see is for Nigeria to be a next exporter of petroleum products. That's what we want to see. And the cabal I was mentioning was different people within the oil industry who still wanted things to be done the way it used to be done. We cannot go that route. We cannot go that route. For example, I expected that given the quantum of money that was used in our refineries to resuscitate the refineries, what they are doing now is not what they should be doing.
Okay. I'm told we must observe a break now. So let's go on this break. We'll come back very shortly. Please stay. This is still Journalist Hangout.
and cable. Great quality, now with the new look.
All right, folks, welcome back. We were talking about Alhaji Aliko Dangote. He went visiting Aso Rock, saw Mr. President, came out from the talks with Mr. President. I was addressing journalists. He talked about his pains, you know.
Yes. He talked about, he said the problem he has is not with the new NNPC board.
Yeah.
Problem is with major oil marketers.
Yeah.
The major oil marketers continue to bring in petroleum products. Those petroleum products will sometimes be lower than its own price.
Okay.
Yes. So he made efforts to deal decisively with them by constantly lowering price. But the suspension of the naira for crude made it difficult for him to continue to do that, because naira for crude, whichever way we look at it, is another form of petroleum subsidy. Because the volatility, the foreign exchange, the volatility that we experience in the foreign exchange market, that naira for crude effectively deals with it and the associated risk. So when that was suspended, Dangote adjusted its price upwards. So, as I've said, in a deregulated environment, the NMDPRA would still allow people to bring in petroleum products into our country. But if we increase the volume of refined petrol, those guys will be out of business in locally refined petrol. If we increase the volume, those guys will be out of market in no time. It's a matter of time. They can't continue. We will save a lot of foreign exchange. I understand Dangote's argument and why he said the president is being frustrated. But there is also the fear that a lot of these people harbor, that if they do not allow, because these are refineries, our own Nigerian refineries, nobody trusts them, that they can't do so much. Petrol is a security product that they are scared of any form of monopoly happening in that sector. That is the fear of the people who are issuing licenses. Okay, let people bring it in if they want. And they can point to countries that, despite their capacity, they too are still bringing it. Because it's better for you to have it in abundance than to
begin to
have the risk of not having enough. If we don't have enough, petrol goes to 1,500 naira per liter. What are we going to do?
But you know, Dangote's argument is this, or let's say my own argument. Let me not say Dangote's argument. My own argument is that I understand perfectly well that we must not allow monopoly. But there cannot be monopoly. One, we have 4 refineries that are supposed to be working.
But they are not.
That's what I'm saying.
Not
Either by act of omission, because if you claim
for so many years we didn't really care.
Because if you claim, but after that they said they have spent billions of dollars. You understand? To do turnaround maintenance in this refineries. And for so long, this thing is not working. You understand what I'm saying? Because why is it not working? It's the same cabal that didn't make it work.
The NNPC.
The cabal in NNPC.
The cabal that Dangote is talking about.
I know, I'm just saying.
Outside of NNPC.
Yes, I know. The cabal that he's talking about is the majors.
Maybe he should add NMDPRA.
Yes.
I guess he didn't want to add
He didn't want to add
because without NMDPRA issuing license, can anybody go and bring
Yes, I know. Because what he's saying is, I know, for example, that the major marketers are bringing in petroleum products every time.
They are not out of business
But my own problem is that since they are bringing in this product, my own argument is that since they are bringing in this product to sell, they can as well collect it from Dangote.
No,
there could be an arrangement.
They are not prepared.
Why is that so?
Please, Benga wants to join us from Abuja. Benga, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, my elder statesman, Mr. Jones, and the honorable there.
All right, welcome.
our law has not forbidden importation of fuel to the country. The PIA encourages importation. And it's good for us. It's a willing buyer and willing seller market. It will make those who are the local to be more efficient and make sure they increase their price. If we buy importation, before we know it, they will form a clique. They determine the price. But the fear that importer can make their can take away their customer will make them to want to make minimal gain. So it's a good thing for us, and it should be encouraged because anything can happen tomorrow. Nobody should follow around. In Nigeria today, we have this association. They can just gang up and say no. This is what we are having. So it's a good thing for us.
Thank you, Benga. Thank you. Yeah.
That is
I see
he made a valid
point.
One thing is certain. For me, the agency to take the decision about issuing licenses is NNDPRA. If they don't issue, Dangote has been wondering, why are you issuing fresh licenses? So if they don't issue, these people can bring petroleum products in. But a lot of them are still bringing in petroleum products. There was a time when I had, sometimes they get into these talks and then they pull out of talks and say, okay, we are not buying from you again. It's the nature of a deregulated environment. People have choices. To say this is what I want to buy, this is not what I want to buy. So I want us to be able to increase our local refining capacity and capability. But we cannot totally ban importation.
Okay.
We cannot totally ban.
I agree, but also, but importation too can affect the business of those who are refining the petroleum products locally.
No, you can sell.
It can affect
to people abroad. You can sell. He has clients outside Nigeria, of course.
Okay.
He has clients. He's already selling to US. He's selling to even South American clients. So that's the thing.
Okay, folks, we must go to our next story. Yeah. Well, the debate continues in your part of town. You know, the 700-kilometer Lagos-Calabar highway, which traverses 9 coastal states, has received a pass mark from the House of Reps Committee on Works. The chairman of the House Committee, Honorable Akin Alabi, lauded the contractor for the quality job, and to the Federal Minister of Works, Honorable Alabi gave kudos for effective supervision. The project is expected to reduce travel time from a depressing full day to 5 hours, which I think is a plus.
They've done tremendously well. I was on 2 Fridays ago. I was with a few of my friends. We said, "Thank God it's Friday. Let's go and relax."
You see that you are joined them.
A few of my friends, journalists like me, he or there, my former number 2, who is now doing very well at Arise TV. We decided to take his Oga out. We went.
You let your head down.
No, I didn't let anything down because my wife will be watching now. And she's a pastor. So we were seated there, and we saw some vehicles. They're already using the road.
Yes.
And I'm like, what's going on?
Surprising.
In that this hotel, I don't want to mention the hotel, but it's behind.
Yes, they're already using it.
It's behind the Eco Hotel.
Okay.
Yes.
Hotel, one of those hotels that the name starts with P. We were there, and we were seeing they're already using the road.
Yes.
I said, come on, is this not this new road that these people? And the place was so bright at night. It was a beauty to behold. So, what they are telling us now is that by the first phase is like 47 kilometers.
Yeah.
The minister has told us that they will be able to do like 30 kilometers for the president to inaugurate on May 29, which is the first phase. Now, the projection was 27, but they are confident that they can do 30.
Okay.
30 kilometers. You can deliver 30 kilometers. Other segments too have begun. Work is going on. In fact, the information we have is that this axis from Ahmadu Bello Way right up to Electoral Ibejuleki, all those areas, people are buying property and the prices are going up because hotels, tourism will spring up in that area, hotels will spring up, housing estates will spring up. People are already thinking ahead and buying property because they know it will keep going up, you know, with time. So this is a project that I believe that no matter what former President Olusegun Obasanjo and others have said, we will see in the fullness of time the beauty. Nigeria deserves a coastal road. That's not. We see it in other countries. Who says that we shouldn't have it in our country? All of the argument that, they've not done other roads. Look, if we dedicate our budget, our entire budget for the next 10 years to fixing bad roads in Nigeria, it will not be enough. It will not be enough. Look at bad roads everywhere. So if you want us to fix all the bad roads before we do new ones, I mean, what kind of argument is that?
You know, the East-West Road, that was
it's
the
still
big
there.
idea.
It's still there.
That's the big
I still
idea.
passed through the section of the road when I went to Warri last week. It's there for years. That was the big
even
idea.
In
our cities, the inner city roads are in a deplorable state. Go to Ikorodu, for example, all the communities around Ikorodu. So if you say you must fix all bad roads before you initiate new road projects, come on. We are 10 years, we cannot fund. Do you know how much we are even owing contractors?
Okay.
Contractors, how much we are owing contractors on federal roads? It's a lot of money. So some of these arguments, when people simply dismiss projects like this, I shake my head. I talked about even this road, Kurirat Abiola Way. It was one old politician in the PDP, you know, from the southwest, who said that road will be washed away in a matter of months.
But that was the first major road that actually did as governor of Lagos State.
And that road, go through that road, there's no pothole.
Oh, yeah.
Because Lodwaga gave them assurance that
yes.
in decades you won't find pothole. You go to Abuja, some of the roads that IBB constructed, yes, it was costly at that time to construct all those roads. No pothole on them. Nobody needs to do a patch.
They are like autobahns.
Yes, because they took their time.
But this one is even different because one thing in the fullness of time, one of the things that people will remember the president for is that road. You know, it's an iconic road.
Yes.
In the fullness of time, people will look back, just like we are talking about Third Mainland Bridge.
Yes.
People would
what
look
if
back.
They didn't do Third Mainland Bridge?
People would look back
what if they
and
didn't?
say that this is an iconic project. But apart from that, there is a friend of mine that lives after Lekki in an estate in Lekki. Let me not just mention that. There was a time that was this. There was this hold up. There was one time that we have this traffic and all that. And this my friend from that place tried to use this road, part of the road, because they've done a long stretch. So he used that road to now link up to be able to beat the traffic in Lekki. He stays in that one big estate after Lekki.
Okay.
So he now used that road, and was one that told me that he has never seen any road like that. At the level, the height of it.
Yes.
The piling.
It's 275 millimeters or so.
Yeah. He said he has not seen anything like that. And you know, because it is concrete, he said it's different from any road he has ever seen. So what they are doing there is not Shigom at all. So, and in the fullness of time, people will commend the president for taking that initiative. Don't forget that the road has been conceived for a long time. It's just that successive government didn't have the wherewithal or the political will to execute it.
You know, mine is linking 8 coastal states.
There's nothing that can beat that.
You know, and reducing travel time.
In fact, they said that from Bejuleki, that once this road is completed, in under 1 hour you are in Lagos.
Oh, really?
Yes. Under 1 hour you are in Lagos. Because all of those traffic jams and all that.
You won't pass that place again. You just bust out. Yes.
So it's, and it will change the face of Lagos and all of those states that it passes through forever. And it's a good thing that, okay, even the north is not left behind, because the Badagry
to Sokoto road
will
have the same kind of
they will also get the same attention.
Yes, they will have the same kind of
So rather than condemning the coastal highway, especially by somebody who did not fix the road leading to his farm. Let us support the minister, support the government, and at the end of the day, it is our children who will benefit from these roads. When Ambode wanted to do that dual carriageway leading to the airport, you know, we had all kinds of issues. They didn't want to give him the chance to do it. You know, it was when Oshibajo was acting president that he then gave the go-ahead, go and do that road. Who would drive through that road now and not be proud?
That's
all right.
And we remember how bad it was.
Yeah.
Okay. We have a company joining us now. Katanka, that's the name I'm giving, is reaching us from Osun State. How are you, sir? Hello, are you there? Katanka, are we in business?
Fine. Citizen Jones.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir. Long time.
Let's go. We did.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Okay then.
I'm with you.
Go on.
Go on.
Let's
Hello.
talk to us.
Well, it appears we are not. It appears we are not quite ready. Better luck next time. You know. So, yeah. So, the Lagos Calabar coastal highway is in the works and is now going to be.
And one thing again, we have to commend the present Minister of Works.
Yeah.
Maybe because he's an engineer,
He knows the work.
he seems to understand what to do.
Yes.
You have to give that to him.
Yeah.
Even ordinary repairs, what he's doing,
It
you
takes
you
his
can
time.
see that
Yeah.
professionalism.
Attention to
Look at
details.
that! Look at that Tom Milan Bridge.
Yes.
When they came to fix it, they fixed it time and time
And
and
it's
time
there
again.
now.
When he did his
Super.
own, it's different.
Okay then. Let the debate continue as we always say. Now we'll go to our next story. You know, for the country's number 3 man and Senate president, Godswill Akpabio, this is a period when life becomes more challenging than usual. A time when one faces a sea of troubles. Now, 56 prominent civil society organizations, CSOs we call them, have called on the Senate president to step aside following a Court of Appeal ruling in Calabar that upheld the conviction of Professor Peter Ogban for electoral fraud committed in 2019. That's concerning the Akwa Ibom Northwest senatorial election. The CSOs who insist that the ruling, which questions the legitimacy of Akpabio's mandate, means he, Senator Akpabio, must temporarily step aside. The coming days are interesting ones, BKO.
Why should they step aside?
Why? Why?
This is the height of. This is. It has reached a point now that even so-called CSOs get used easily by politicians.
Yeah.
There's a desire to kick Akpabio out of his job because they believe that he's the stabilizer of this regime.
Yes,
especially
that
in
is so
the
loyal to the
Assembly.
president.
So, look, in that election, I remember that election. I played the big part in even getting security men to go and rescue core members who were held. So they can't tell me anything about the election. Akpabio won only one local government in his entire senatorial district, and it's Esenudim, where he comes from.
Yeah, that's his.
So somebody lost an election by a huge margin. It was a rout against him. He did not get into the Senate, you know, on account of that election. You are now saying that 8 years after, or how many years after? 4 years after the election that was conducted, 4 years after that he won, he should now give up his seat.
It's stupid.
What kind of, how do our people, what is going on in our country? He won only one local government. He lost. Ekpeyon defeated him hands down.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Ekpeyon got the chance to use to exercise his mandate. He didn't win. If he had won now, you could say, okay, he benefited from electoral fraud. Many people benefit from electoral fraud.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
In our country, and they get by. In this case, that guy wanted to rig. He didn't even succeed in rigging.
Okay.
Because the then wreck, this our friend, the
Igini.
activist, Igini stopped him in his tracks.
Yeah.
Igini, all the form EC8A, where they write results.
Yeah.
Igini asterisks every form that came out of his office. I've never seen a wreck like Igini. He's a national hero, somebody that we should actually give a position. But in a country where we don't value the truth, they made sure that Igini was not elevated to national commissioner. It's a terrible thing that we do to good people in our country.
Oh, yeah.
Igini asterisks every form where election result is imputed. So if you bring any other result, because people are fond of cloning INEX documents, despite their efforts to make it difficult, people will clone and then sell to politicians. So politicians will now write fake results. Igini made sure that it didn't happen under his watch. Because once he checks his own initial, his signature was not there, it's a nullity.
Yeah.
So rigging didn't take place. Igini didn't permit the rigging to take place. Now, for the effort that that person made to rig, they put him in
Islam.
They put him on trial. So rigging didn't even take place. Technically speaking, rigging did not take place because Igini did not permit the rigging to take place. So you can't even say that the man benefited from rigging. He lost. So if he had gotten into the National Assembly, we could say yes. With what we had, yes, he benefited from rigging. He did it in only one local government. He was well defeated, and he contested it in the tribunal. He also lost.
Yeah.
So how do you then say that, okay, many years down the line, he should step aside? Every little thing, somebody complains about something, you say he should step aside. Bukola Saraki, he was going to court. Every time he's going to court, they will shut down the Senate. He will go to court. He opened his mouth to say somebody should step aside. When you were on trial, the Code of Conduct Tribunal, did you step aside?
Okay.
I mean, what's going on?
He will go for the Code of Conduct Bureau and then
they will follow him to the place.
And then back to
the place to go and preside again. He didn't step down. Yeah. And that's the person put on trial. Now somebody makes an allegation that nobody...
With no evidence.
No evidence. We've been appealing to her, bring your evidence. Bring a voice note where the man is toasting you. Bring evidence, you are not bringing evidence. And you are saying you should step aside.
Different kinds of narration to say, look, and we are now said that, look, if Professor Beke is telling us this, bring the evidence. And you see, one thing we have to look at is that whether we like a government, a public official or not,
we must be committed to the truth.
We must be committed to the truth.
Fair.
And we have to be, because when you are looking at fairness, the fairness must involve everybody. Not that you will say that you can only be fair to people who are making accusations.
Or people that you hate.
Because somebody accused me of an offense doesn't mean it is true.
Yes.
The only way it can
even
be
if you are fond of doing that,
that's what I'm saying. It does not matter whether I've done it 10 times before.
Yes, it doesn't matter.
That is not law. That is not law. He who alleges must prove.
You must prove.
If you tell me, even if I've been doing it forever, if you want to allege that I've done something, you must bring
your
proof.
Evidence.
That is what the law is. You cannot just say that, oh, this guy...
And then you sentence a man, you find a man guilty without evidence.
You can't do that.
Think you are making sense.
Then everybody, every time they will say you should step aside. Step aside.
Step aside for what?
Characters, I call them CSOs. How can they come there?
A lot of them are fake. There was a time that some people...
just use it to make money.
The military, when I was criticizing them for badly handling the insurgency, they got some people to write a petition against me. To our CEO. So the CEO, when he called me, I said, let us first establish whether these people exist. We checked. The fake website that they quoted did not exist. The fake, what was it called, that they also put there, the address. We sent our courier man from here, our dispatch. The place did not exist. It was in Ojojo Abiodun. It did not exist. So A lot of these people, they just make.
They are
I said, look, they don't exist.
They are
I told our CEO, I said they don't exist. They just wanted to silence me.
Okay.
They don't exist. They said, oh,
how can you ask somebody to step aside for an election that was not even that
he lost?
That was the lost.
He lost by a wide margin.
Step aside for what?
Out of about 10 local government, he won only one, and you are still saying they should punish him for losing an election. Come on.
All right, folks.
Does this show logic?
Well, the debate, let it continue in your part of town, but we are done here. Time is the master. But let's thank Babajide Kolade Otitoju, BKO. Thank you for your intervention.
Yes.
No less so, Mayor Akpabio, we thank you.
Thank you.
And of course, on behalf of the Backroom Boys, I'm saying that's it on the program for this evening. You watch a repeat broadcast of this one later tonight at 11. And join us on Sunday. Don't forget, the longer version is built for 1:30 on Sunday. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I'm Citizen Jones. Bye-bye now. Take care.
Everything, step aside. Everything, step aside.
I'm coming from a family of 5 where many of us are still in school, so this has really helped us a lot. My parents don't have to worry about me. Nigeria happened to me, and I'm a beneficiary of NELFUND student loan.
I'm a real Nigerian, born Nigerian, a resilient Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code. I'm a real Nigerian, accountable Nigerian, a caring Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code. I'm a real Nigerian, born Nigerian, a resilient Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code. I'm a real Nigerian, accountable Nigerian, a caring Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code. I'm a real Nigerian, accountable Nigerian, a caring Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code.
Hello, I'm Joanna Owefa. I'm a student of the Niger Delta University, Wilberforce Island, Bayelsa State, a 400 level student, a medical student at that. Nigeria happened to me. I came across the NELFUND loan via my SUG here in school. They shared the link out. When I first saw it, I didn't click on the link because I'm not known to click on suspicious links, but I saw people reposting it over and over again, so I just decided to click on it so I'll even find out what it's about. When I opened it up, I saw what it was about. I saw the write-up. It was really, really nice. So I said, let me up. And I did apply, and it was not up to 2 weeks. I think I was in the first batch, and they paid my school fees so fast. I ran to the office, and I was like, okay, this is really, really nice. I'm really grateful that they did so. It's not very easy going from class to class, 24/7, reading my book. So there's not really much time for me to do any other thing. And I'm coming from a family of 5, where many of us are still in school. So this has really helped us a lot. My parents don't have to worry about me. I'm thinking for this session and the next sessions, that is if this loan still keeps on going till when I'm done with school. So I'm really, really grateful that this loan came all the way here to Bayelsa State, and they gave us a chance to be partaking of it.
I'm a real Nigerian, born Nigerian, a resilient Nigerian. I live by the citizens' code.
If you are actually ready as a student in Nigeria, there are opportunities, not just loan, there are grants, there are scholarships, there's a lot of things happening. You just have to stand and just stand watch, and you will see something and you will get something. This one I got right now is very, very, it's very, very nice, and I hope I should pay it back when I graduate. And there are lots of opportunities. Just